What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Karzan, and we're bringing you more Infinite Magicraid content. Now, we're going to be covering the patch notes, what's changing. Yes, there has been some huge changes already that have been announced. Obviously, the bleed and poison are being reworked. We're going to go a little bit over that, and then we're going to cover other changes as well. I did do a separate video for the new heroes being introduced, so if you missed that one, make sure you do check it out, because I do talk about some rings in that. Yeah, okay, let's get into the video. Oh god, it's bright, it's very bright. Okay, Miracle Wish Up heroes on November 25th. Legend is Hertha, Quinlan, Serena, Gru, and Nasil. A lot of you are going to be wanting Nasil, I know that. A lot of you have been waiting for Nasil in a Miracle Wish event, so I hope you saved your Miracle Wishes. Yeah, because the other heroes are very good as well. Epic is Dustin, Hardak, yes, Hardak. I want to see everyone building Hardak. Okay? That's what I want to see. Maya is in there as well, a very good healer. Longbeard, okay, that's yeah. Now, new heroes can only build blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they can only build 10 for 2 weeks, and then they'll be put into the normal wish pool, we know this. Number 2 is free hero regression event will be live from November 24th to November 30th, during which the following heroes can be regressed for free, which is Nidrold, Elena, Natalie, and Hizaro. Now, make sure that you have already leveled them up a little bit before that if you're planning on regressing them, because if you do it during the event, you will not get a free regression. You've seen my video from before where I messed up, so that's that. Next up is number 3. The trio match event is available for a limited time during November 28th to December the 1st. Okay. New features. Added the stamina storage feature. The stored stamina up to 2,000 will no longer be counted in the stamina limit and battle consumption. Okay, that's a really nice change. It means that we can store some energy up, store some stamina up for events or whatever, so people aren't hoarding it and wasting it. It's being saved. Number 2, added the on-off feature for the specified hero tag rate up event, during which adventurers can turn off the event wish pool manually and return to the regular excellent wish and supreme wish pool. So if you don't like what's in the event up, then you don't need to worry anymore, because you can just switch it off. God, this is so bright. I'm sorry. Added to customization settings to the hero trial feature, in which adventurers can adjust the lineups, heroes exclusive level, and attributes of both sides, so as to enrich the trial experience of heroes. But I will say on this, okay, it is a really nice feature to have, but you can only do it on PvP. You can't do this for PvE, okay? So yeah, and the thing is that we're adjusting people's gear to what we want. It may be good for testing certain things like effects resistance versus effect hit. We can now test this on a really hard scale. But the majority of things, I feel like it's not. Yeah, I just don't feel like it's amazingly like wow. Okay, because when we are setting stats to a certain degree, setting our enemies to a certain degree, it's not really realistic. Right, because we have our gear, what we can put on, we have sanctuary bonuses, we have talent bonuses, all these kind of things have an effect. So bear that in mind as well. Hero adjustments. Optimized the skill description for Taft's passive skill, Spirit Alive, and active skill, Wrath or Nature. Optimized the skill description for Natalie's passive skill, Bloodthirsty Desire, and exclusive level 2. Optimized the Brave Child event and added the next stage button to the battle settlement screen. System reduced the stamina cost for the emblem challenge. That's a nice change. Optimized the display of player info and added the entrance of guild info to it. So skill adjustments. This is the big one with bleed. Before, obviously, do we need to talk about the befores? Yes, okay. Takes damage by 30, 50, 70, 90, 105, 120, 135, 145, 155, and 165% of the inflictor's attack based on the number of bleed layers each turn before action, stackable up to 10 layers. That was all the numbers I was reading off. That's what happens when you have up to 10 layers. Bleed ignores defense, well, we know this, okay. After, they take the damage by 14% up to 30% after we hit 5 layers, and thereafter it'll be 30% too, of the inflictor's attack at one time based on the number of bleed layers each time a layer of bleed is successfully inflicted. So if we're inflicting a lot of bleeds on a skill, I believe that we'll be hitting 30% each time that we successfully inflict bleed onto the enemy. So like Lukea is going to be insane. And Nidrold is going to be hitting pretty hard as well. Hisaro, if he's hitting with his ultimate, he's going to be landing a few bleeds as well. So it's going to be scaling quite nicely. Other than that, the actual bleed initial damage hasn't changed. That's still exactly the same as what I read before. That's just a new feature added into it. Poison, before the owner takes damage by 100% on the inflicted attack each turn before action. Poison damage ignores defense when we know this, but the new introduction to poison is this. Each layer of poison reduces the damage dealt by the owner by 1.5%. Stackable up to 10 layers, so we can have 15% damage dealt decreased on the enemy who has 10 layers on them, which could be kind of nice for survivability purposes. Other than that, poison hasn't been buffed damage-wise. And I'm kind of happy because when we go into poison stages, Taff, Nidrold, Alina, was it Malassa, and there's one other. It's in Faction Abyss, and it's disgusting. I think Hal's actually in the Hal 9000. He taunts. It's Wolsey. It's Wolsey. Okay. Now, hero adjustments. Taff. Before he inflicted severe wound on the intertwined target for 2 turns. After, targets who are inflicted with intertwined by Taff will be additionally inflicted with severe wound for 2 turns. Very nice for a lot of stages in campaign, even people progressing through that, meaning we can put severe wound on with Taff. Now, Natalie, basic skill Scythe Strike. Deals 140% attack damage to a single enemy with a 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% chance. That is... Wait, what is this? Is this typo? This is a typo. Ignore me. It says 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%, and then it says 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed for 2 turns. So there's some kind of misinformation there. So be aware that that's going to change slightly. One of those is correct. I'm hoping it's the one with the 80%. Chance to inflict bleed. Active skill Energy Burst. Before it inflicted a layer of bleed on all enemies, afterward deals 140% damage to all enemies with a 30 up to 60% chance to reduce the target's effect resistance by 50% for 2 rounds. After, there's a 100% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed on all enemies for 2 turns. Afterward deals 140% attack damage to all enemies with a further then chance to reduce their effect resistance as well. So that's nice because it's a 100% chance to land that bleed. I'm looking forward to Natalie. I have her a little bit built already. So I've been planning to build her for a little while because she can reset bleeds. So just watch that space. Exclusive level 1. There is a 50% chance to reset the duration of bleed of the target when Natalie attacks actively. After, there is a 50% chance to reset the duration of target's bleed when Bloodthirsty Scythe deals damage. That's enough. I don't like that. I don't like that one little bit. Nuh-uh. Level 2, before, restores Natalie's health by a certain percentage based on the layers of bleed when the target deals damage to under bleed status. If the target has more than 5 layers of bleed, the restored health is still based on 5 layers. Afterwards, Natalie restores her health by 1 to 7% of her maximum health based on the number of bleed layers the target has when she deals direct damage to enemies under bleed status. If the target has more than 5 layers of bleed, the restored health amount is still based on 5 layers. Okay. Level 3, obviously we had the increase from 1% up to 50% for every 1 layer of bleed she inflicted on an enemy, and that buff cannot be removed. After, for every 1 layer of bleed Natalie inflicts on enemies, she gains a layer of feverish blood, increasing her attack by 1% up to 50%. The buff cannot be removed and will not be removed when the owner dies or at wave transition. And that is a nice buff. Okay, you kind of saved her there. Devs. Kind of saved that one. I will say that. Okay, level 3, we just read that. Hisaro has... His active skill, Open Wounds, is going to be changed. Deals 400% up to 520% attack damage to a single enemy and restores self-health by max 8% of maximum health. Meanwhile, inflicts inferior severe wound on a target of 2 turns. If the target is under bleed or severe wound status, inflicts severe wound instead for 2 turns and restores self health by 16% of maximum health. Afterwards, he deals the same amount of damage percentage, but to a single enemy and inflicts severe wound on a target for 2 turns. Meanwhile, restores self health by 20% of maximum health. Okay, so that's a little bit of a change. Now, Nidrold, his basic attack, Sword of Destruction, is going to change. Before it dealt 2 stages of 100 to 140% attack damage, each to a single enemy with a 30% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed for 2 turns. Now, afterwards, it's going to be deals 2 stages of 80% to 100%. So it's less damage at once, but there has been a buff to his chance to land bleed. 40% up to 60% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. They've doubled the chance there of bleed. Sharp Sword Aura before increases the damage dealt by Nidrold by 15% up to 27%. Meanwhile, there is a 60% chance to convert direct damage to bleed damage whenever he deals direct damage to targets under bleed status. Afterwards, 80% of the damage dealt by Nidrold is considered bleed damage and will be affected by mastery, but cannot land a crit. Besides, Nidrold deals 15% up to 27% more bleed damage. I like the sound of this one. Exclusives. His exclusive has been completely changed. Nidrold casts Sword Mastery again up to 3 times for every 1 enemy under bleed status after casting Sword Mastery. The damage dealt by Sword Mastery is halved for each following casting, however. Level 2, skill effects completely changed after Nidrold additionally increases self-attack by 0.15% up to 15% for every 1% of mastery above 20% he has. So it's going to be very important to get a lot of mastery on him. Elena. Now, this is the final change to the game, guys, alright? I know we've been going on a little bit. I know you've been struggling to keep up with me or even understand what I'm saying because I struggle to understand what I'm saying myself. So, yeah. Elena. The beauty Elena. Basic attack, dual light slash. Before, deals 2 stages of 60% up to 100% attack damage, each to a single enemy with a 30% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed for 2 turns. Afterwards, deals 2 stages of 60% up to 80% attack damage to a single enemy, with a 30 to 50% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed for 2 turns. So it's increased the chance of that bleed landing, but it has reduced, like we're seeing with Nidrold, it has reduced the initial attack damage as well. So that's going to be an interesting one. I'd rather be landing the bleeds, to be fair. Active skill, Severing Light. Before, deals 60% attack damage to all enemies, with a 40 up to a 70% chance to inflict 1 layer of bleed. For 2 turns, the skill has an additional 20% leech, while afterwards it's going to be deals 160% damage to all enemies, with the same chance to inflict bleed and the same amount of leech. So that's a big buff to Elena. That's a nice 160% AoE attack on that, then causing bleeds for everyone. So that is it for the patch notes, guys. And I've got to say, I'm pretty happy with these patch notes. There has been some nice changes. I'm sure there's going to be many more nice changes to come, but we have to stay with it, guys. We have to, we need to support these changes. They've done something good. They've done something good here. They're making good changes. So please, take it a little easy, okay? I know some of you wanting to see all these changes happen so fast, but they are making drastic changes as the game is going on. So stay with it. And if you do, thank you. If not, let me know in the comments below why, your thoughts on all of this. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on all of this. And if you did want to hear about the new heroes being introduced, make sure you check on my channel for that video. And don't forget, you can check out my tier lists, you can check out my hero builds and showcases, all in playlists on my channel. I'm Carl. Thank you for watching. Take care.